Does God will something because it is good, or is something good because God wills it? This is commonly called the Euthyphro Dilemma, and this is a dilemma because it seems like either way we answer this question, we're making a wrong decision. If we say that something is good because God wills it to be good, then goodness becomes an arbitrary decision that God makes, and possibly even an example of might makes right. For example, God could have commanded us to hate each other instead of loving each other, in which case we would be morally obligated to hate each other instead of love each other, which doesn't seem like that's the objectively morally right thing to do. On the other hand, if God wills something because it is good, then there's an external standard of goodness outside of God that even God is subjective to. So it seems like this standard of goodness would be more powerful than God, in which case God doesn't seem to be God because he's not all powerful. The Euthyphro Dilemma is found in Plato's dialogue Euthyphro, in which the character Socrates asks the character Euthyphro, "Consider this, is the pious being loved by the gods because it is pious, or is it pious because it is being loved by the gods?" Although it was originally asked in the Greek culture of polytheism, this question is commonly asked of one god as well. However, this is actually a false dilemma because there's another option besides something being good because God wills it and God willing something because it is good. And this third option is that God wills something because he is good. In the Christian worldview, goodness is grounded in God's nature. God is the objective standard of goodness, and his commandments to us are an expression of his good nature. This means that goodness is so intrinsically tied into God that it cannot be separated from him. Given this third option, and going back to our question from earlier about if God could have chosen good to be evil and evil to be good, the answer is no. Goodness is an intrinsic part of God's nature where goodness could not have been otherwise, and evil is just a corruption of that good nature. Asking this question is a lot like asking if a herbivore could have chosen to be a carnivore. And this is kind of a silly question because, unlike vegetarians, herbivores are not arbitrarily deciding not to eat meat, but more accurately, naturally cannot eat meat. In the same way, God is maximally good in the objective standard of goodness, in a way where evil cannot be good and good cannot be evil, because evil is really just a corruption of God's good nature, and goodness is such a part of God's nature that it could not be otherwise. So, objective morality is dependent on God in some way, but not in a way that's external to him, but in a way that is internal to him. God's nature is just, kind, loving, forgiving, and good in such a way that it cannot not be good. This is the way that theists have historically answered this interesting dilemma. God wills something because he is good, not because of a subjective decision that he's making or an objective standard outside of himself. Please like and subscribe for more videos that share God's love through apologetics, and remember, Jesus loves you.